Phone sex has become a big business here in the U.S. Most of the operators used to work out of call centers, but it's fast becoming work you can do from home. And in this tough economy, a growing number of young moms have decided it's the best way for them to make ends meet. Elizabeth Hasselbeck has taken a look at this. She joins us now. I was surprised by this.
You know what, George? There are actually a growing number of moms with young kids actively seeking out phone sex operator work. The advantages, they say, are many. The ability to work from home, flexible hours that they can work around their kids' schedules, and the added household income of tens of thousands of dollars a year. The moms we spoke to say talking dirty to strangers isn't something they're necessarily crazy about doing, but it's something they feel they have to do to support their families.
A typical day for this 45-year-old mom includes walking the dog, straightening her 8-year-old son's room, and running a load of laundry. It also includes something more: stepping into a home office to work as a phone sex operator.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm happy to talk to you about that. I look at what I do as a business. It happens to deal with sex.
This single mom, who goes by the name of Star, is not alone.
I'm Victoria.
A large number of the phone lines advertised in ads like this are actually voiced by moms like this. Thousands of moms work in the U.S. as PSOs, or phone sex operators, and the numbers are growing at dramatic rates. In the last 18 months alone, the numbers of mothers of young children pursuing phone sex work has jumped 400%.
This is an example of desperate times calling for desperate measures.
Desperate times, desperate measures.
Chris Durst runs RatRaceRebellion.com, an organization that helps mothers find work-at-home jobs. More and more of the women who contact her are actively seeking employment in the phone sex industry.
They almost sound a little embarrassed saying, I've tried everything. It's come to the point where my family is on food stamps. We can't make the rent. We're looking at foreclosure. This is the fastest way for me to get my family back on their feet again.
Many of the mothers, like Aubrey, who asked that we not show her face, say that while they'd like to work outside of the sex industry, those jobs just aren't available.
I've applied to 20 to 30 different jobs like Walmart or Subway or, a fast food place, and I just haven't gotten picked up in my area.
Aubrey, who has a 3-year-old son, says working as a phone sex operator is difficult and often disturbing.
This is nothing I'd ever thought I'd be doing, ever. Having to get used to the weirdos out there, and there's married men with children, there's divorced men, sometimes there's a couple that'll call. More recently, there's actually been a few women calling.
At times, the 22-year-old says she feels disgusted speaking intimately with strangers while her son sleeps down the hall. Working as a phone actress, she says, is as far as she's willing to go in adult entertainment.
I'd never want to, take off my clothes for anyone or actually, fulfill these fantasies for anyone.
Aubrey's goal? To save enough money to finish her schooling and get a job as a medical transcriptionist. Lynn, a mother of 3 who also asked that we not show her face, says she's often considered getting out of the business, but when she does the math, it doesn't add up.
I make more money per hour that way than I would in another job. I've made over $1,000 in the course of a day.
Those benefits have not been lost on Lynn's husband, who has come to accept what his wife does for a living.
That she has the ability to bring in sometimes a lot extra each month and not have to worry about where we're going to get food or the electric bills are going to be shut off. That's a big deal.
But while more and more moms are pursuing jobs in the phone sex industry, society as a whole has reservations when it comes to moms of minors getting paid to talk dirty. I found that out firsthand on the rainy streets of New York.
I don't know that I would want to promote that to my children.
It's probably not the most appropriate.
Would you let your kid go to play at the house of a friend who worked as a phone sex operator?
No.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
Star says she knows many want to judge her for what she does, and to them, she insists her line of work doesn't make her a bad mom.
I get to spend time with my son. I have to go into an office when I work, but the office is just one room away from my living room. So I take a call for a half an hour or an hour. I'm back with my son again.
Is there ever a chance where your son could hear you on the phone with one of the callers?
I talk very softly. It's sexier.
Star says her 8-year-old has only the vaguest idea of what her occupation entails.
When your son asks you what you do, Mommy, what do you do for work?
I get paid to talk on the phone.
When he eventually asks her more detailed questions, Star says she's prepared to come clean. But for now, she and Lynn and Aubrey say they'll continue to attend to children by day and make time for dirty talk at night, all in an effort to keep their kids clothed and a roof over their heads.
Your priority as a mother is to financially and emotionally, be there for your children. Phone sex helps me provide financial support for them.
I'm definitely doing it for my child. We need the extra money to, make sure he has everything he needs.
So Elizabeth, the women do this from home, but is there any danger here that somehow they can be tracked by these guys they're talking to?
The companies that we spoke to say they take great pains to make sure that the woman's identity remains completely secret. They never find out their actual number, where they live, what they do, and ultimately, though the women do say it can get a little dicey, sometimes uncomfortable for them, they do feel as though they have the final say when to end the call, and they can do it at any time.
And the companies themselves are above board?
Yes, actually we spoke to RatRaceRebellion.com, and this is a company that for the past decade has been tracking women, getting jobs, placing them in work, especially at home. What they found is that these companies and women actually are teaming up quite well. The companies are reputable, and they can actually provide benefits at some point. They direct deposit into the women's checking account. When they're unable to have a checking account, they actually pay them in gift cards. So for the women, the stability, the added income is something that outweighs any sort of, uncomfortable feeling.
Wow, brand new trend. Okay, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, thanks very much.
Thanks, George.